9.5 has been out for a few days now. With some updated tweaks to an underrated comp, INVOKERS is perfect for players who want to go uncontested and still play for top 2. Let's break it down. In the early game, you want to rush 4 Invokers ASAP and splash in 2 Ixtal. This can be a bit tricky because there are 3 2-cost units you want to play, so if you're having trouble finding everything, just settle for whatever you can, but at least get 2 Invokers at minimum. Your early item holder is preferred to be Cassiopeia, but Milio can hold items if you 2-star him first. If you can't find all of your Invoker units, you can also look to play Set and Aurelia as early game frontline, since you'll be looking for Karma in the mid game anyway. While this is a weaker early board, it does make the mid game transition much easier. Once in the mid game, you'll swap Cassio for Karma, then add in Set and Aurelia to complete 3 Ionia. At this point, you'll slow roll at level 7 for Karma 3 and other potential 3-stars, including Taric, Galio, Soraka, and Nico, who will be played at level 8. Also be on the lookout for any Shens that might appear in your shop. If you manage to find one early, drop Aurelia. If you happen to get an early Shen, you can put Galio on bench for Nico, which will give you 2 Bastion, 2 Ixtal, then he can come back later. Once you've hit at least Karma, you have to decide between going for other 3-stars or pushing levels. Now, in the late game, this is how your board should look. With these units, you're sitting on 3 Bastions, so you can trade Nico or Taric for a legendary unit like Sion, Aatrox, or Cassante 2-star. I prefer to keep Taric on board, but if you have Nico 3-star, she's probably better. One thing to note is this board is significantly better than including a legendary unit if you manage to get a +1 augment or emblem for Invoker, Bastion, or Ionia. This is because you can add the emblem to fit in 4 Bastion for an impossible to kill frontline. If you get an Ionia emblem, give it to Soraka or Ryze, then drop Set for Cassante. If you get an Invoker emblem, give it to Taric and drop Galio for Cassante. Now if you get a Bastion emblem, then just give it to Set or Galio. Keep in mind, if you get an Invoker emblem, it's never worth going for 8 Invokers. You lack frontline options when you do this, and your units don't need that much mana generation. The additional AP boost from 8 Invoker is nice, but what you have to give up in return for it is not worth it. From here, items, augments, and positioning will determine who takes first, so let's break it down. For damage items, your main carry items will be Jeweled Gauntlet, Giant Slayer, and any 3rd AP item like Guard Breaker and Deathcat. For tank items, it's best to start on either Aurelia or Kiana, then move them to either Taric 3-star or Shen in the late game. The best items are Ionic Spark for Resistance Shred with Warmogs and either Dragon's Claw or Bramble Vest. If you can't make a Warmogs, then Redemption or Protector's Vow are solid options to boost your frontline. For your extra items, there's a few good choices. Shiv for Resistance Shred if you didn't get to make Spark, Morello or Sunfire for anti-heal, or any extra carry items can go to Soraka as she will be your backup carry. Now for augments, there's a ton of choices. We do have the +1 augments like for Invoker, Bastion, or Ionia as we talked about in the late game section. Long Distance Pals is excellent because Karma and whoever she shares AP with get huge boosts from this. It can be used on either backline or frontline. Social Distancing is great to add extra AP to the entire team. Unified Resistance is really strong with 4 Bastion to provide a super tanky frontline. Early Education is solid if you get a high roll Karma in the early game. This lets her stack a ton of AP, which gives big benefits to Jeweled Gauntlet. Frequent Flyer is great to take in the mid game if you're looking to play for multiple 3-stars. Magic Wand is excellent to provide a huge boost in AP to all of your Invoker units, and it also gives you a rod, which is crucial as you'll need at least 2 to 3 in this comp. Now for the best legends, it comes as no surprise that it's Ornn and Bard. The reason for this is because the items here are super important to get best in slot, and oftentimes rods, bows, and swords can be contested. Ezreal is a close third, but since his items are random, it provides less value. Now positioning for this comp is fairly straightforward. You want to keep your Ionic Spark holder on the same side as Karma, so she's always hitting the shredded target. Try to keep Ryze and Karma far apart so they can't be targeted at the same time. Next, continue to scout to ensure Karma avoids backline threats like Rogues, Sion, Jarvan Stun, and others. As for your tanks, I like to keep Nico in the center for her AoE damage, then Taric and Shen insulated from the outside because their shields provide protection to allies. You don't want them dying early, as you lose most of your shielding if they do. As long as Karma avoids being stunned, you should be okay and win fights. Did this guide help? Leave a comment and tell me how you like the new set so far. Until next time, I'm Swagadelic.